Well, hi there, and a great Wednesday afternoon to you. It's Canceling COVID. I'm Tonya Rivens, and of course, it's an honor to be here with you. We're committed to helping you and your family stay safe by bringing you reliable information and resources. Together, we will cancel COVID. And coming up, I've got some good news. Sounds like we are starting to have an impact. I want to say thank you to our sponsors, Mecklenburg County Public Health. That's mecnc.gov. mecnc.gov. They've got all the information you need and they are available to answer your questions. So if you're really still struggling or have some concerns, pick up the phone and give them a call, 980-314-9400, 980-314-9400. Now, Thanksgiving is only a few weeks away, and of course we expect for it to be a lot different than last year. Fingers crossed, and of course because of all the hard work we've been putting in. So if you're thinking about hitting the road for the holidays, well, just heads up, travel numbers are starting to bounce back. And looks like, according to AAA, 56 million people traveled over Thanksgiving in 2019. Here we are 2 years later. Before this was when the pandemic had not occurred. So in 2019, we had that amount of people that had hit the road, 56 million. Now we are 2 years later, and the numbers started to drop to about 47 million last year. So we went from 56 to 47, and it's expected now a jump of 8% to nearly 54 million this year. And I can tell you, I've been doing some traveling, and I see that trend going up, and a lot more people on the road, staying in hotels, taking flights. So I want to ask you all, as I see you hopping on, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. You know, the holiday season is coming up. Considering COVID, are you comfortable with holiday travel? Are you making any plans to catch a flight? Hey, Reverend Connie Green has just hopped on. Good afternoon. Thanks for sharing, and thank you for hopping on. Please share, let other people know that we're here right now. Would love to have them join the conversation. And Reverend Green, would you also comment, you know, with the holiday season, you've got a big family and you guys have a ministry. Are you all considering traveling for the holidays? Are you comfortable enough to travel for the holiday season? Looks like a lot of people are. The numbers are starting to improve. So please share your thoughts and we'll share with everyone. I also want to go ahead and welcome my first guest, Miss Dayvee Sutton. She is a national travel reporter, and it's always an honor and a privilege to have her join us to take time out of her so busy schedule. Sometimes I really look forward to seeing what she's posting on social media because this sister is so sharp and she makes time for little old me, but she is having the time of her life. I think the last time I talked to you or I saw you're living in France now. Is that right?
I've returned from France.
Oh, girl.
And I am on my way back to Mexico. So, but it's nice to see you, Tonya, and hope you are well.
I am. It's always so good to see you. I don't know how you do it, man. How long were you? How long did you live in France?
I was just over almost 7 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So almost 2 months. Of course, I wanted to stay longer, and
Yeah.
I will be making plans to return next year.
And so now you're getting ready to head to Mexico, did you say?
Yes, for the rest of the year.
Girl, you're living the life, and I salute and admire you. You're just able to keep it moving and just enjoy yourself, so I appreciate it. I think the last video I saw was you jumping in the water or something. Was it
Yes,
off of a cliff?
it was off of a cliff. I
Oh, girl.
challenge myself every once in a while to cliff jump, and that one was a motivational Monday post. It was the highest cliff jump I've ever done, 25 feet. And the reason is that I posted it for a motivation Monday is I often get remarks that like, you know, I'm probably the most adventurous person a lot of people know, but that I'm fearless.
For sure.
That I'm fearless, and that's not it at all. I'm always afraid. It's just that fear isn't the reason that I won't do something.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I posted it as a motivational post. You might not cliff jump, but there are things in your life that you want to do that are definitely scary. And the people that you might look up to or you might see just doing things and killing it doesn't mean that they're not afraid. So that was the message there.
Well, you're a pretty incredible individual. You're also a journalist and you're just doing amazing things. And so I appreciate you and thank you for encouraging others and being an inspiration. So, we're already asking our question of the day. Of course, you are nationally known as a reporter. Are you comfortable enough for the holidays to keep traveling? And if so, or if not, tell us why.
Yeah, well, I've been traveling a while, and I only felt comfortable doing so after one key thing, and it was that I got vaccinated.
Okay.
And I will tell you, travel right now overall is not comfortable.
Uh,
Even it's still a pandemic. So there are a lot of moving parts when it comes to traveling right now, and things change all the time, whether you're taking a road trip, whether you're taking an airplane domestically, and especially if you're taking a trip internationally abroad. So there are a lot of things to juggle. There's a lot of things that are happening that slow down the process. So even though I'm traveling and there have been people traveling, there was an increase in a bit of a surge starting in spring, which I called, like revenge travel, because
right.
everybody was locked down, and then they wanted to that was the one thing they wanted to do, was get out and do something
Yeah, just get out
different.
the house.
Different from being at home. It's just not comfortable traveling right now, though. You
Yeah.
have to wear your mask the whole time. As soon as you get to the airport, you have to wear your mask the entire time. Even on the airplane, you have to always prove whether you had a test that was negative, or prove vaccination. And even if you're vaccinated, you still might have to prove. So there's a lot of things that make it uncomfortable to travel right now.
And then that the proof of the vaccine and all that, a lot of that is, of course, even more impacted or more so when you're doing the international travel. That has got to be a drag. I had an invite to go to London, and she was like, "But 3 days before, you have to get a test, and over here it's not free, and then you have to get another one." I was like, "Okay, wait a minute. This is last
Yes.
minute anyway, so it's a lot involved." Which kind of I wanted to mention. Monday, fully vaccinated foreign travelers started entering the US for the first time. It's been about 18 months. Do you think that's going to have a domino effect and maybe create more travel as far as domestic?
No, what that really does allow is loved ones who haven't seen each other
Yeah.
in 2 years abroad reunite just in time for the holidays. That's the biggest impact. And then also restarts the US receiving international tourism dollars, which is
Yeah.
about 8% of our GDP, of our economy. So it is a chunk that we weren't earning by receiving international leisure travelers. So that's the biggest impact, because domestically for Americans we were allowed to travel. So also with that, there was some reciprocity to finally, like, we were allowed to go places, but we weren't letting people in. So I'm actually happy for that, because we should be fair in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
Um, but that was the biggest impact of that. Will is what we'll see, the biggest impact of what happened on Monday the 8th.
So we got Dayvee Sutton. She's a national travel reporter. She's always all over the airways providing great information. I've got Treese Whitley, who just hopped on and said hello. And Reverend Connie Green says she doesn't feel comfortable right now, but she believes that you could stay safe. Now, do you think the numbers inching closer to pre-pandemic? Will we get there real soon? And if so, what is driving that?
So, what is making there are two factors making a difference. People aren't going to simply go another year without seeing their families.
Right. Right.
um, so even those who were really strict with following, the protocols,
Mhm.
this year they might be vaccinated themselves, their family, like they're going through all the precautions. So I think we will see, kind of an increase in people traveling. And
Mhm.
second, more people are traveling because of what I said. The reason why I started to feel comfortable traveling is because they're vaccinated.
Right.
And now with children being eligible, we're going to not only see an increase in family reunions, but also leisure in places like Orlando, which they're already reporting at Disney and Universal. They are expecting very busy times starting Thanksgiving through the end of the year.
So, do you see any travel trends, or do you expect any travel trends?
Yeah, with a lot more people having long-term remote work, we're going to see workcations be a regular thing. That's when you take your laptop and you go work someplace bit better. That's what
There's a
I've been
name
doing when
for
we talked about being in Paris and going to Mexico.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's going to be a more regular thing, and also kind of tying into that slower travel,
yeah,
spending more time at a destination instead of just whipping through because we don't have such restrictive. Those who are fortunate enough to be able to work from home and from their laptops, because we do know a great deal of amount of people have to go into work, and then the resurgence of quick trips, like those quick getaways,
yeah,
simple pleasures. We're going to see that start to amp up again. And I think really, truly, the X factor in all of that is being vaccinated, because even with international travel, that's what opened the doors for other countries to feel more comfortable to start receiving tourism from abroad as well. So I think this is what we, fingers crossed, especially with the children being vaccinated, is where we can start seeing like the light at the end of the tunnel for the
okay.
pandemic finally, trying to come to an end.
Well, Dayvee Sutton, everyone, offering some valuable information, and she lives a life. There's been a lot of negative publicity about the just Americans just behaving badly on these flights. Do you think that's
Oh
going to
yeah.
be a deterrent? Maybe some people's like, I ain't going to be bothered with that because it's a lot right now.
It is a lot, and it's unfortunate now that the airlines are training their in-flight crew to fight people back. I think that is not a part of a lot of people's descriptions, and like
Right,
everybody isn't some spry young person that's taking kickboxing.
right, right.
There's all ranges for those in-flight crew. Yeah, the anxiety. I think it's all tying into the whole energy of what's going on
Yeah,
in our our country, and people feel not wanting to be pushed around and told what to do. But
right.
it is very clear on every airline that you have to actually check off and agree before you board. When you're checking in, part of the check-in process is that you agree to wear your masks.
Yeah,
And I actually do appreciate that the airlines are taking a hard line for these violators. You should not assault people in the air, while when you're trapped in that box in the
right.
sky. If you assault somebody, those officers are waiting for, the federal agents are waiting for you when you land, and you are forbidden to fly that airline for life, and possibly even further repercussions. I think that the strong arm is going to kind of make people second guess maybe entitlement or frustrations. And I think the frustrations also have a lot to do with what we talked about earlier, about all the things it takes to travel right now, and all those things jungling. Because not only you talked about your experience of having to get the test and the information that's there, all of these things also slow down the lines. It
Yeah,
slows the lines are bigger, longer, seem longer and slower, because of all of these steps that it takes to enter the airport, board the airplane, exit the airport, get
yeah.
your luggage. So there's a lot going on.
And not to mention that people are already anxious anyway. Some people have anxiety about flying. Minister Green says keep the mask on if you are going to fly, and that's great advice. And obviously, you have to do that. So you're just world-renowned traveler. Well, give us some tips real quick on what makes traveling easier, or just some tips that we need to know.
Yeah, really, it's going to be to pack your patience. It's really going to be to, not only more people are traveling, but there are more protocols for every step, and that's going to slow down the process overall. So when things are, the lines are longer and slower, plan for that, and then you'll be less frustrated and
Right.
surprised. And also, preparation is key. There are a lot of moving parts when it comes to traveling these days, and all the things are changing all the time
Hmm.
still, and it's still a pandemic. So remember to keep your pandemic kits. That's the wipes, the sanitizer, and the mask, and of course, as much as you can, the distance.
Yeah, this is great advice and great information. And you do it, you make it look so easy. I mean, just streamless as you continue to seamless as you continue to travel around and provide really great advice. As we wrap things up, anything else? Is there anything else that you would like to share?
No, I mean, I think we covered it. I think, the key is that traveling is a personal decision. You can do it safely. If you don't feel comfortable taking a flight, look up to the roads. And, I think if you all took the precautions of, making sure your household is safe and you want to reunite with your family this holiday season, according to what the medical experts say in the CDC, then you should be able to do so. And that is going to be kind of a nice, warm, conclusion to this kind of year.
Yeah, maybe everybody get together and have this group hug, and maybe some of this anxiety will start just melting away. Dayvee Sutton,
Yes.
make sure you support her. Her website is daviesutton.com. And of course, I just appreciate you so much. It's always great to have you on. And thank you for taking the time to share with us.
Thanks for having me, and you have a good one.
You too. And of course, she's off to Mexico, folks. That's sister right there. When you say living the life, oh man, she's doing her thing, and you can see she's a jewel. She's an expert, and she's great at it. A couple of updates for you, real quick. First, Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools. They have teamed up with StarMed and are now making it easier for children to get their COVID-19 vaccinations. They've got some free drive-through vaccination sites. They opened in the parking lot, so just feet away at the schools. Barnett Elementary is one, Charlotte Mecklenburg Virtual Elementary, James Martin Middle, as well as Garinger and Rocky River High. I'm sure there's anticipation of possibly expanding. So far, nearly 15,000 children in North Carolina have received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. I reported from StarMed, and prior to the vaccine being released, they had a pre-registration. 2,000 young people have registered. I'm sure it helped too. They were giving away some gaming systems, including PS5, which is so hard to come by. And so I appreciate them at least putting some incentives out there for our young people. Now, 1,243 new COVID-19 cases were reported in North Carolina on Tuesday. There continues to be progress from week to week. And talking about that progress, some really good news coming out of Mecklenburg County, where the mask mandate looks like it's going to be ending possibly a little bit sooner than expected. So the county commissioners took that up. We'll be talking more about that. But what I say to you right now is pat yourselves on the back. Yeah, take a time and say, you know what? We're starting to make some progress now. We don't want to get too far ahead, but we certainly have to acknowledge all the hard work that's been put in. And now we're starting to see a return on this investment. And thank you all again for supporting Canceling COVID. One of our sponsors, who's with us every Wednesday, also been putting the work in. When you see Dr. Tracia Black out in Groundwater Solutions, you make sure you tell them how much you appreciate all the work they're doing as well. And I look forward to talking to her every week. Good afternoon, sis. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good, good. You got that big old smile on your face. So,
Yeah.
earlier we talked about the surge in holiday travel. Are you seeing more people trying to get vaccinated because of the upcoming holidays? Do you think people are starting to say, hey, I want to do it different this year?
Well, I can't say that I've seen a more of a surge than we did mandates.
Okay.
So I think that we saw bigger numbers because of the work requirements. I think they've been pretty consistent over the last couple of weeks. I haven't heard folks say I'm getting vaccinated for travel. What I can say is testing for travel. We're
Okay.
getting lots of requests for same day PCR testing, which we now have the equipment in our laboratory to do PCR testing while you wait. Typically our testing is cost free. That does have a cost. It's $125 during the week and $175 on the weekends if you want it while you wait.
So now
Than that, though, we are still. Go ahead.
so that's the PCR test. Now, is that the same as the rapid test?
So there is a rapid test called the antigen test where you
Okay.
can get results in 15 minutes.
Okay.
That test does have a high error rate.
Okay. Okay.
For travel, the airlines, they require the PCR test.
If you're not vaccinated.
No. If it requires a test at all, then they're going to require a PCR test. Some
Okay.
flights, definitely for international flights,
Yeah.
that's required. I think vaccination may now take the place, but some airlines, even if you're vaccinated, they still want a PCR before you fly.
And that's the test that I was referring to when I had the invitation to attend a conference in London. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what she was talking about. And you have to
Right,
pay for it. So I'm sure that's the test because it's an international flight.
right,
Yeah.
right. In some places are charging literally $300-400 for that test.
Wow, that's quite a bit. Well, what are you hearing from families? Some good news with what's happening with our trend here as far as the mask mandate. Are you seeing a lot of families coming out for the pediatric vaccines?
They are. There's a lot of interest in pediatric vaccines. We have appointments starting next week where we'll be offering it.
Hmm.
I still see parents who ask a lot of questions. Some parents who are vaccinated and they're saying, I'm comfortable right now with me being vaccinated, but I'm
Right.
not comfortable with my children being vaccinated. And then you have those on the other end they can't wait to get it.
Yeah.
They want their name on the books with an appointment time so that they know that their children are going to be safe.
Well, I think it's really cool that everything is tying in together, and I hopefully will have another conversation. Didn't have it down today, but I saw where they're even working on a nasal spray and, of course, the pill. So,
Mhm.
science is pretty amazing, and you have to at least be grateful that they're continuously working this out and working through everything. I see Erica Simonton Beatty just hopped on. Good afternoon. She's always great. Hey, Erica, please feel free to comment on our question if you're comfortable with holiday travel. And Dr. Black, talking about holiday travel, some people are traveling from Europe right now. That country's having another surge, from what I understand. Should people here be
Yeah.
concerned because we're opening up the international airways again?
I mean, I think we should be aware that that's what's happening and we should be
Right.
safe. We should take the safety precautions that we harp on no matter what, whether they're folks coming into our country or we're going out of the country. We test a lot of folks who are returning from international travel and test it when they get home and they're positive. So they might have been COVID free when they left and got on their airplane, because of course they're having to test before flying. But when they get back here a day or two later, they're having symptoms. So we have to be careful everywhere. We are not through with the pandemic. We are hopefully more knowledgeable. We're more prepared. We're more educated, and we're more protected. Done. And I
Well,
wanted, when you said pat yourself on the back, I said, I patted myself and I said, we did this. All of us working together. We've gotten us to such an amazing place, and we can't afford to let our guards down,
right.
whether we're traveling or they're coming here. Just let's keep being safe.
Yeah, and I mean, just putting the work in, whether it's a lot of information that you've been
Mhm.
able to provide for us, pointing out information, pointing out key factors that a lot of times was not speaking to our community, which has been just amazing. And now more and more,
Mhm.
people just want to be informed and they want the information. That's why I'm so grateful for you guys. Erica Beatty says she doesn't feel comfortable traveling right now. Her immediate family is close by and they're all fully vaccinated. And we've even talked about families that are vaccinated, some of the steps, even as you gather for the holidays, you still should take precautions. You would agree with that, correct?
I would absolutely agree with that. I know last week we talked about testing if you're going to have a family event or a
Mm.
social event in the holidays, and that there are companies like ours that will come out and provide testing service at no cost. We have folks who came for us through the month of December. We're getting slammed with cost. An exciting thing that I think the light bulb is finally going off, to say,
Yeah.
you know what, we can take minor steps to have fun, to be social, and to be safe.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. Making me smile too from ear to ear. So what's going on with groundwater solutions? What updates do you have?
Oh. So we opened a new testing site off of Freedom Drive. We
Good.
know that there are other companies there who they tend to have real wait lines. So we
Uh-huh.
are now located at the intersection Allegheny and Ashley Road between Harding and schools. So we're there. Hopefully we can help cut those down, and that our community can get the testing or vaccinations that they need without a really long wait.
Oh, that's so good to hear. And you're exactly right. And that's a pretty main artery for a lot of people. I'm over on Freedom Drive at least twice a week. And so you guys are over at Ashley and Allegheny, you said, by Harding High School?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Good, good,
and again,
good. So
you don't have to call for it. You can walk through. You can register. Text the word register to 797979 and just show up, and we will be ready and prepared to serve you. The other thing is we're doing the travel testing, PCR testing while you wait. Our cost during the weekday again is $125 and $175 on the weekend, which is still less than the $400 that other folks are charging, just because that's a more expensive process.
And that's a good location for anybody that might be possibly en route to the airport, because that's on the way if you hit 85 or Billy Graham or any of those routes. Now, where is Groundwater Solutions out today in addition to Allegheny and Ashley?
So, of course, we're always at our main office at 5104 Reagan Drive off Sugar Creek. We are on Independence Boulevard and Indian Trail every day, Monday through Saturday. We are also at University Adult Care today. I think that is it. That's where we are.
You're out there putting the work in. So I certainly appreciate it. As we wrap things up, again, Dr. Tracia Black, groundwater-solutions.org, 704-596-0505, or you said 797979. Just text register, and you guys are there waiting. Now, the location you have over off of Ashley, Allegheny, they can get testing, boosters, and vaccines, as well as the PCR tests. So everything you need.
All of that. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Wow, good
We
stuff.
are in stop shop.
Yeah, I love that. And I know how hard you've been working to kind of get your arms around all this and the opportunities and to address the community needs. So is there anything else you would like to add as we close out?
No, just that I'm proud. When you started this show, canceling COVID, I just think you hit an area of our greatest need, and you have helped spread the information that have kept people alive. And I'm so just proud and honored to be a part of what you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And it's been a blessing that we've been able to work together, because like I said, you've shared so much information with me that has been able to get out, pushed out to the community. And there's more to come. So we're going to talk. We're going to keep this going. I know we're headed out of it, but now we focus also not just on the pandemic, but about healthier lifestyles and addressing some of these underlying health conditions that, you and I have talked about so long as well. So I certainly appreciate that. I've got an interesting comment here from Tyrone Jackson. I'm not exactly sure how it fits in with this, but I do want to give a couple more updates, especially if you're struggling to pay rent and your landlord didn't participate in the NC Hope program. There's still an opportunity to qualify for relief. The program rules have changed for the second round of funding. Go to rebuild.nc.gov. That's rebuild.nc.gov for more information. I know a lot of people are still trying to deal with having to get evicted, or this eviction rate with the moratorium on mortgages. And if you're leasing, all of that has now switched up a bit as well. But there is some relief out there. Don't make a mistake and not communicate with someone. Ask questions. I ask all of you that are on right now, including Mr. Jackson, please share so that people will know. Rebuild.nc.gov. We are providing reliable information, resources, and it's real talk. I want to say thank you to Dayvee Sutton for hopping on and sharing about traveling. The holiday season, yours truly getting ready to hop on the plane next weekend. So it's always something, a lot of traveling now happening with people who have really tried to shy away from it. But sometimes these car rides are just way too long. So we appreciate her joining us and giving some hints and tips and just sharing her expertise. Also to Dr. Tracia Black, you're talking about someone that's been working really hard to address canceling COVID, who embraced what we launched to do, which is educate our community. And it's been just a blessing to see how it has grown and how you have continued to support and embrace this as well. Well, it's time for me to go, my friends. I certainly appreciate you. As always, life's challenges make you better, not bitter. We'll be back on Friday. It's a great, beautiful day here in the city. Make sure you get out and just enjoy yourself, but make sure also that you're continuing to be mindful of what we're dealing with, that we're not out of this pandemic just yet. Thank you to our sponsors, Mecklenburg County Public Health, mecnc.gov, that's mecnc.gov, and Groundwater Solutions. 797979 to register, and text register if you need to swing by for testing, vaccines, boosters, or the PCR test. Have a great afternoon, everyone. I certainly appreciate you. You can email me at TonyaRivens@AOL.com if you need any information. Take care.